Hello and welcome to D&D Night on DDOstream on twitch.tv/DDOstream every Sunday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, twitch.tv/DDOstream. It's DDO players playing tabletop D&D, having some fun. And today we're doing something kind of special because we're all on camera and we're heading back into a DDO dungeon tabletop style with a little bit of a unusual presentation. This is pre-recorded and being released over the next couple of months during my time slot, which is usually the third Sunday of every month right here on D&D Night on DDOstream. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Really appreciate it. Let's go around the room clockwise on our presentation, introduce the various members of the party here tonight. We'll get to the character names in just a minute, but for now, if you got something going on you want to plug, if you have another Twitch channel that you do some stuff with, whatever, it's all good. Let's just kind of get people a sense of who you are and what you got going on. We'll start with you, Tom.
So, I'm Samuel Pactor, and this is the part where I'd normally have to say, here's my Twitch channel or here's my YouTube, but I don't do any of that. Now I feel somewhat inadequate here, so I guess I have to start a Twitch channel now. That's really all that's going to have to happen.
Well, this will be the start of something big.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
My beard will gain fame and prominence. You should be able to find me somewhere, but at the moment you can't, so perhaps someday you will.
You're a DDO player as well.
Indeed.
All right. Also with us is Lee.
Hi, everybody. This is Lynn, formerly of DDO Sunday with Alex and Lynn, which maybe at some point we'll be bringing back. You can check out our goods and wares at eldritchentertainment.com or amethystdragonfly.com.
All right. Thank you very much. Sprouts.
I'm Chris, also known as McVeganPants on Twitch and _McVeganPants on Twitter. I'm a variety streamer. My pronouns are whatever you feel like calling me in whatever moment you're in. And yeah, I'm just a variety streamer. I've played DDO for, what year is this? 2021, 11 years off and on. So
Yep.
I'm sure there's a lot of longtime players. But
Nice. And this is actually kind of a big weekend for you because pretty soon you're going to be joining me at work.
Yeah, coworkers, bro.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that'll be pretty nice as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be a QA tester for Lotro.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Oro.
Hi, this is Alex, also known as Gruubii. I can be found on twitch.tv/GRUUBII. I'm also one of the D&D Night DMs and also one of the other people who work on eldritchentertainment.com.
And what week do you usually tend to do the DM thing on D&D Night?
I tend to do things the first week of the month, and it's currently Rime of the Frost Maiden.
All right, the 5e, the big dungeon. All right.
Well, there's a dungeon involved once they get there.
Okay. Yeah.
But for now, it's just trying to survive
But
the ice.
mostly we've been, getting through avalanches and murdering mooses. So
Oh, no.
good times.
All right, and then finally with us here, not on video, not because she didn't try, but because of just some technical issues beyond anyone's ability to control. We do have Belladonna with us here as well.
Hi guys, my real name's Elizabeth Vaughn, and I'm basing my character on my friend Mark Tassin's fantasy world, the world of the Tultis. I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 1970, and have enjoyed every minute of it. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. So what have we got going on? This is going to presume that all the characters in the campaign have run the Dungeons & Dragons Online DDO dungeon, the Seal of Shan-to-Kor. So, the events of the Seal of Shan-to-Kor have taken place, and then this adventure is going to happen essentially later on, almost Wrath of Khan style, in this various parties' careers. So, at this point, you know, they've got magic items. They've got some power. They got some power creep. They're not wimps. They're level 8, and I kind of let the party pick their own magic items, which maybe was a really bad call as a DM. Because I seem to recall at least one staff of power in there. But so let's get to that here now too. Why don't we actually start in reverse order here? Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about the character heading into tonight's adventure.
Well, Belladonna Triple Chins is from the Triple Chins family, who pride themselves in finding strange and new ways of cooking and preparing foods. She's a fighter, 8th level fighter, a pure fighter, and she will try to stop and taste things as she goes. If she remembers correctly, I think there's some really interesting fungus down there that she'd really like an opportunity to check out.
Yep, absolutely. Kind of a cook explorer, if that could be a culinary explorer.
Astronomic adventurer.
Yes, there you go. All right.
Food is life.
And what about Oro? Who are we meeting here tonight?
So Oro could have been met before, as he did participate in an adventure involving everybody learning a whole bunch of cantrips. Really shouldn't have had access to them. And he is a Order of the Scribes wizard and also an Asimar, which he keeps under close wraps.
All right. Sprout, I believe you are the rogue of the group.
I am. So yeah, Sprouts is a swashbuckler, which is a bard in DDO, but in 5th edition it's a rogue, and I'm happy about that because this is going to be cool. Sneak attack damage. Yeah, so Sprouts is a pirate of the Thunder Sea, and she just basically wants to challenge you to single combat duels and then go party afterwards.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And who do we have in Lee? And also, am I saying, is it Lee or Lay or
Lee. Lee is fine.
Lee, okay.
So Lee is a warlock folk hero, and I believe she's a folk hero for the Adventure of the Cantrip tomes that Oro was also involved with, because it's just famous throughout the land. And yes, she is a warlock with a sprite familiar.
The Order of the Cantrips was an adventure I had done a while back on D&D Night on DDOstream, where I sort of played through the result of what would happen if everyone in a town suddenly had the ability to cast cantrips. And the chaos that would then ensue, and quite did. Yes. So
there was a magic mansion, and it was crazy time.
Well, that's right. You all hid out from the group in the magic mansion. That's right. That's right. Tome, what's up with your character?
Tome is a relatively recently awakened warforge, made as a scrivener for a House Caneth enclave, horrifically injured in an attack by some followers of the Lord of Blades. He powered himself down into airship mode to attempt to survive his injuries, wherein he dreamed and experienced emotions for the first time. And this has started his journey into mental magics and a discovery of humanity and sapient races. He is a wizard cleric, and he likes to, do normal things like raise a family.
Nice. Does he have first? Does identify as he in generally in terms of gender, and also does have a family?
Well, I mean, when I say raise, necromancy is involved.
Oh, that kind of family.
Yeah.
The one you create yourself.
Can't a warforged just raise a family in peace?
Okay, there we go. All right, so once upon a time, you and your party looked competent enough to do a job for the Wayfinder Foundation. And since you were looking for freelance work, it was a decent idea at the time, especially since it had not been that long from the time you were stranded on an island and eventually made your way to the docks of the city of Stormreach. The seal of Shan-to-Kor itself is not a powerful item in and of itself, but it was used by the rulers of the ancient giant empire as a powerful symbol of their birthright. Its rediscovery by the giants, in the person who sent you on the quest, Wayfinder Dale's opinion, is that it would be capable of uniting all of the giant clans into an unstoppable new empire. Wayfinder Dale believed that Hetman Shog, a hobgoblin chieftain, was planning to sell the seal of Shan-to-Kor to the giants, thus prompting her to hire you for the job. Wayfinder Dale was convinced that the seal of Shan-to-Kor was hidden deep within the city's steam tunnels, and you were tasked with breaching a kobold blockade, traveling through the caverns of Hetman Shog, defeating the leader of the Cloven Jaw hobgoblins, who knew where the seal was located. And then upon his defeat, you read of his plans to sell a cultural artifact to the giants, with the treasure beyond and the deep sewers. So, into the halls of Shan-to-Kor you went, through a particularly nasty fire trap, across a hobgoblin stronghold, ending in a large chamber in which the seal of Shan-to-Kor itself was guarded by a stone guardian, a golem construct wielding a large club. The seal itself crackled with magic, and was a large runestone featuring a fist, grasping 2 bolts of lightning. Upon returning it to Wayfinder Dale, she confirmed it was the true seal of Shan-to-Kor. In her words, without it, the hobgoblins will not be able to buy the giants' allegiance, nor will it inspire the giant clans to reconquer their ancient empire here in Zendrik. The seal will be transported to Sharn, where the giants will never find it. You have changed the course of history this day. Well, of course, we all know that Sharn is not exactly the most secure place after all, and for a few years now, there's been quite a bit of frequent travel between Sharn and Stormreach. A lot. And while it may have been hidden in Sharn in a place where the giants wouldn't find it, Wayfinder Dale should have been far more concerned about humans, since word reached you a fortnight ago that the seal has been stolen again, and witnesses describe a very much human thief sneaking into a Stormreach airship with it. You're now on another airship, bound for Stormreach, where you'll once again be at Wayfinder Dale near the Rusty Nail, at the entrance to the steam tunnels. This time, however, things are different. You're much stronger and wiser, and while Wayfinder Dale will likely ask you to steal, and yes, it was stealing, the seal again, this time your motives are your own. Let me get up a map here. In a moment at the party, you should be able to see an airship on a map. And just for the purposes of getting this done on the tabletop here tonight, I will let people kind of see what's going on, and that is that we're getting some combat stuff going here. This is a good opportunity for the party to kind of interact a little bit with itself, maybe remember a little bit about the quest you were on, what you remember of the Seal of Shan-to-Kor, and do a little bit of prep work to adjust your characters, give yourself a little gear, anything else you think you might need to heading back into a dungeon that, to some extent, you're familiar with. I'm also open to any
honestly,
questions.
I think I need.
You might have, yeah.
Honestly, I think I need more collection containers for the fungi.
Probably. You will. You can get a very large bag for that, as a matter of fact. Let me get you in the party sheet, and then get you in the combat tracker and on the map. The combat tracker is not relevant yet, but it will be. And it's best to put the people on the map from the combat tracker. So
I feel like we need potions of fire resistance.
Yeah, I was remembering that crap.
Probably wouldn't be the worst idea.
yeah, fire resistance, yeah, probably is a good idea. Let me see, what did... Okay, good. I just dragged it from you.
So I know that oftentimes on modern airplanes, you're generally going to have a few coffins riding below in the cargo hold. Is that a thing? Like, is there a morgue on the ship? Are they maybe, some people have been transporting bodies back and forth? Like, is there a friendatorium that I could go to
You're right that
potentially?
that's a possibility, but on this particular ship, no.
Okay.
This is actually a ship that a smaller private ship that the Wayfinder Foundation has you on to ship you basically directly to Stormreach, without a lot of questions asked.
Good to
So,
know.
you know, not that they're trying to hide exactly either, but they
Yeah.
you know, they're fine with it being limited in knowledge.
All right. No friends then.
Not this time around. Some of the information you've learned from Wayfinder Dale's letters and from conferring with a member of the Wayfinder organization who organized your passage to meet specifically with Wayfinder Dale here in just a moment, is that the description of the person was of a sleek and fast creature of the shadows. A human assassin, most likely, who took the seal from its hiding place and was seen boarding an airship while dressed almost entirely in black. Almost entirely, due to a large ruby necklace, or a cloak fastener, some kind of thing around the neck, that had been seen by several witnesses.
I would have immediately asked if this was a necklace with multiple spheres of ruby along it.
No, one large ruby.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Large enough that being all in black but wearing a large kind of ruby thing is a little weird because it stands out. It stood out to the witnesses.
Was it glowing? Or
Not
just-
that was reported, but then, you know.
Yeah. The person who saw it wasn't a wizard, didn't have detect magic
Yeah.
going or anything, and so wasn't
Yeah.
able to.
Yeah.
Could I perhaps go ahead and make a history check to see if I know of any assassins guilds, mercenary contractors, so on and so forth, who mark their members by bedecking them in rubies?
Yeah, that sounds good. Why don't you give me a history check here?
Yeah, it'll be under skills, history. All right, well, that's going to be a 15.
Yeah, that's
Not,
pretty
not
good.
the worst thing.
Nope, that is good enough. So, there's a lot of groups that are not
Right.
particular fans of the Wayfinder organization, and the number of people based on your experience of the city of Stormreach itself is that it could be one of a huge number of different people. I mean, it could potentially be something like it could be down everyone from like the Emerald Claw all the way over to I'm trying to think. The Quickfoot Gang. I mean, who knows? It could be a Quickfoot Gang thing. If you've got assassins and humans sneaking around between Sharn and Stormreach, they might be responsible, whether as mercenaries on someone else's behalf or as an organization themselves. They had been around long enough to know about the seal of Shan-to-Kor and what happened there. But that doesn't mean it was necessarily them either. It could have been a number of different people.
But heavens knows they have enough of them.
Yeah. And the number of people who might be willing to poke the eye of the Wayfinder group is, pretty high as well. So.
I guess in that case, I'll turn in regard.
Assassin puts a big honking ruby on their chest.
Right.
Exactly. It was weird though that there was a ruby there. You almost have to wonder whether there isn't some magic involved, whether to prevent detection or because it was such a creature of the shadows, but yet wearing a big ruby. So maybe like the actual person's shape was perhaps being modified. I mean, it certainly is something that could have happened.
So I'm assuming this is Wayfinder Dale kind of feeding us some of this information.
Yeah, well, it's
Okay.
through the Wayfinder organization. You haven't actually had the opportunity to sit down and meet with Wayfinder Dale at this point. But let me actually look at that. There was a name I saw earlier, and I forgot to write it down, about the Wayfinder Foundation. You're an emissary from the Wayfinder Foundation. So.
Okay, well, I just want to ask the emissary. So, like, we were told that this thief boarded an airship. What kind of airship? What direction did it go? Like, what?
It went to Stormreach. Directly back to Stormreach, which is why they specifically asked for you and your party because they remembered that you had been there before and been a part of the original expedition, which acquired the true seal to its current until recently owners.
So we're essentially chasing the airship.
Mhm.
Kind
That's
of thing. Okay.
You're chasing the airship back. Well, it's a fortnight ago. By the time you're leaving. So what about
Slow chase.
it?
Delayed
It
chase.
took a little while for it to get to you and get to the point that you're moving, but
Right.
yeah.
I guess I'll take this opportunity to survey my companions. I wear thick glasses from the only human I ever know, so I'll like peer them up and peer around at everyone. Always wear robes, makes me look more human. I can empathize better with people that way. My boon companions. We've all been here before, and I think that we know something of what we're going to expect. Hobgoblins, more hobgoblins. Thoughts?
Kobolds,
Fire resistance potions.
fire. Yep.
I
definitely
do
fire.
have
I have
one
a
fairly
few.
sensitive question. And I certainly don't mean to offend, but I have to ask. Can Warforged taste?
Well, on some days when I have been imbibing oil, I have considered these things. Texture, feel, temperature. However, unfortunately, the artificers of House Caneth have not been able to imbue us with true taste in the way you think of it. Same as we've not been able to be imbued with true emotion.
Your robes are so nice, though. I feel like you have great taste.
Yeah.
I have endeavored in my experiences to cultivate a suave sense of the hauteur necessary to be a proper caster. I only hope that one day I will be recognized by my fellow sentients as such.
One can totally scientifically study, clothing and things like that, and then make near mathematical determinations about what would be the most appropriate thing to wear, right? So you don't actually.
And
need
I'm
emotions
sure
in
I can
fashion.
find a way to spice up an oil for you, but we'll see.
Ooh, spicy oil.
Ooh, pepper infused oil. Yeah.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, this is really your last chance to sort of set your spells and all that sort of thing before I'm going to plunge you into the entrance, and we'll have to deal with the rest or something if you want to do that. So,
Yeah.
any kind of any thoughts? Maybe this would be helpful to the group rather, to give people a quick overview of what kind of things can your character do. Remember, you guys theoretically had run this together before.
Indeed.
So, just to help everyone kind of plan a little bit for combat now, what's some of the big kind of features of your characters?
I
I
guess I'll start.
kill things. I taste things.
Before or after you've killed them?
And
With the application of fire, anything can attempt to be cooked.
It's true.
And is it cannibalism if they're not your species?
It is
well,
not.
we do try to avoid consuming sentience.
That's fair. Okay, so I'm a cleric wizard. Because I'm a warforged and have the Twilight Domain, I got heavy armor. And I can use a shield because I can clutch, right, when I cast, I can clutch my staff in my offhand. So I have a resting AC of 22, so I'm pretty tanky. And then beyond that, I have a decent amount of healing. I brought along some salves for everyone. And I can cast Cure Wounds, amongst other things. And then most of my spells are not direct damage oriented. But I do have Psionic Blast as a 3rd level, which can do a number. But there's a whole bunch of control and utility, and then a couple of nasty wall-ups, as it were. I can also make Undead, which we can then equip. But because of who my character is, I will insist on using Gentle Repose as a ritual and using Mending to make sure their clothes and wounds and everything seal back up, so they're gentlemanly presentable, so they can be my butlers essentially before they go into combat.
You're not a callous necromancer.
Exactly.
per se.
Yeah. The help deserves respect too.
Do you see them as lesser than you, though?
I'm trying. They're there because I practice social interactions with them to someday, grasp that spark of emotion that I've been missing. Proper greetings, so on and so forth. They're different, but someday I will teach them to speak.
Okay.
If I can keep a hold of one of them for long enough and they don't get destroyed or eaten or whatever.
All right. All right. All right.
So that is my character. Oh, I also have a very, very useful AoE ability I can perform once every short rest. My channel divinity, wherein I can remove charms or fears from any of you if you're within 30 feet of me. And also, at the end of every round, I can give you a d6 plus 2 temporary hit points. It won't stack because of the way 5th edition works, but it'll refresh every single round for a full minute. So, good stuff. That's Tome.
Cool. Cool. So if you are over in the Discord video for the party here, you'll see the current presentation on XSplit. We have moved away from Fantasy Grounds for a moment, and we're just kind of moving to the Wayfinder Dale conversation. So you have settled into Stormreach, and you are ready. So,
Well, I just wanted to let folks know that I specialize in the single target combat. I only want to fight one person at a time. And boy, do I hit like a ton of bricks when that happens, though. Even though I'm a rogue and I do have thieves' tools, I'm not really that kind of rogue. I don't really do investigation checks, but I am kind of like a face of the party. I have a lot of persuasion and intimidation and stuff like that.
yeah, a couple of you actually, as a matter of fact, are really good, as it comes to find out, for this mission by Wayfinder Dale, which you'll find out for why in just a moment here. I guess
We can
kind
play
of
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, a little bit. And, especially also Belladonna being the sort of specifically refined culinary person and all that as well. You're an emissary, Sprouts, you're an emissary of sorts. Kellendir, Tome, Scrivener, you represent yourself as if you were an emissary, almost certainly, right? So,
Yeah, sure.
Lee, maybe, I'm not sure, less so?
Well, if we encounter a bunch of stuff that looks angry, I can just put them all to sleep and we can figure it out later.
Yeah.
So
Exactly
that
right.
should help.
Yeah, it's...
Also, I can get myself out of there. I can take one of you with me, so be nice.
Nice. Yeah. All right, so you've, after a quick stop at the Rusty Nail, because, you want to sell and repair and maybe have a dirty kobold or two. Whatever.
Well, yeah.
Broccoli
definitely
juice, Warforged oil, all that sort
I
of thing.
pretend to drink the dirty kobold so I can seem sociable.
Okay. Well, they have Warforged oil there, remember? They're well equipped for their Warforged visitors. So
They have oils.
yeah.
This is true, but that's
Yeah.
off-putting to the fleshies.
Nice. Yeah. You notice when you've arrived that all the wait staff is no longer named wenches, and they are rather customer experience managers.
I see my suggestions for gentrification have been taken seriously.
Yes.
It's good to
They
know that the neighborhood is
apologize.
improving in
They
this fashion.
apologize for their past behavior. They already did it. It was a thing. But they're better now. And anyway, they you meet with Wayfinder Dale kind of over by the entrance to the steam tunnels. It is daytime, quiet, as that little corner tends to be. You do see it's historically often been a place where people can just kind of have a quiet conversation away from the Rusty Nail, is honestly been its kind of main purpose over the years, other than if you needed to get into the steam tunnels for some reason, which people have certainly had reason to do over the years here as well. So you meet up with Wayfinder Dale for the first time in quite some time, and you notice that Dale is certainly more senior than she was, both in age and stature.
And she seems to be knocking them back fairly hard.
She's really big on day drinking. Yeah.
It really is, as a matter of fact. She is. But that's the thing. Like, so she's clearly been able to increase her status within the Wayfinder Foundation, at least in Stormreach here. And is dressed nicely, but is very much tipsy, which is a little odd that that she's meeting with you a little bit on the tipsy side. But yeah, she's just like, I need you to go back. I need you to go back.
So as we approach her, I put my hand on her shoulder and be like, "Are you feeling okay?"
I'm
And as Sprouts says this, I'll approach, see her wrinkles, look at Sprouts, hear the concern, and go, "Your corporeal form has deteriorated since we last met." I'll look at you, Sprouts, to like confirm that this was the correct thing to do.
Not out loud, Tome. Not out loud.
I apologize.
Yeah. I did that on one of my characters recently, too. I'm actually gonna...
It's wear and tear.
Yeah, wear and tear. Anyway, she says, it's been a thing. I thought we were doing the right thing. At the time, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought we were keeping it from the giants. But what
We
do they
thought
call
you were
me?
doing the right thing as well.
What do they call me? They call me a thief. They call me a thief.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine, and we'll fix it. It'll be great.
So,
Sprouts, are you a
Also
thief?
fairly judgmental.
I mean, maybe.
I
Kind
see.
of sometimes.
That is good to know.
Yeah.
You are in fine company, I will say to Wayfinder Dale.
that may be. I still believe we were doing the right thing. If the giants had it, they could have risen up and crushed all of us. And Hetman Shog was clearly interested in doing that.
They might have regained their former home, might have regained some semblance of civilization. Heavens knows they might have done terrible things like rebuild the ruins and had safe places to live. We could never allow that to happen.
Nonetheless,
Well, they were also well known for enslaving sentients.
That's true.
This is true. No irony in his voice. He just deadpan believes this.
I got a note. And she hands you a note. And it appears to be a fairly scrawled, angry bit of handwriting saying, "It's time for you to be held accountable for your thievery. I have brought the seal back to the river
Wayfinder
gate."
Dale, can I recommend that maybe you start alternating dips with a little snack?
At this point, my career is over. My life is over. I went from someone to just being called a common thief, a cultural usurper.
Is this note from Hetman Shaw?
It doesn't appear to be. It looks to be a human handwriting. Not that Hobgoblin couldn't have a human handwriting, but it doesn't really. It looks like it would be more like on a human piece of paper given to a humanoid type kind of writing style thing. But specifically, it says, you will be held accountable for your thievery. Meet me at the river gate.
So, interesting note. I actually, I was a scribe, but as an Envoy Warforged, I have an inbuilt tool and sort of an inbuilt profession, and I actually took calligrapher. Could I examine the writing on this note and attempt to determine, indeed, if this was actually a human, like something about the writer based upon their script? I am, after all, Scrivener.
Yeah, go for it. Let me bring up that roll chart again.
What would... I guess would this just be a straight int check or something? What would you...
That or a skill check might work as well.
I guess investigation?
Yeah, investigation sounds good.
I'm going to use a really cool feat because I have the Wild Talent feat. I can go and add my Psionic die, which at this level is a D8 to that.
All right, that's good. That's good. That'll bring you up beyond the 15. So
Right?
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. The 16 there. It doesn't necessarily have to be a human, but it was something that was generally human-like in bone structure and sort of writing style. You know, human style fingers with opposed thumbs, all that kind of thing. So,
Look up
you know,
at the-
whether it was, say,
Yeah.
you know, a half-elf or a warforged or a halfling or what, who knows, but it was that body structure.
Survey the party grimly. It appears that whatever wrote this had opposable thumbs.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
Yes.
I am glad I am here too. As
It was not
insofar
written
as
by
I
a
can be glad.
gelatinous cube. That much you are 100% positive of.
It narrows down the suspects now, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does.
Also, you're sounding good there, Belladonna. Thanks. I'm not sure if anything's changed, but that came through nice and clear. So, all right. So,
The solo players.
so the next really question that that she has is, you know, I need you to represent me. I can't go down there. I can't be seen in the sewers. Are you kidding me? So she
You
is
also seem
sending.
a little too trash to go in there, so
Well, yeah, honestly, you probably don't want her. Oops, let me go. You probably don't want her there anyway, as you properly point out. But that said, you know, she would like you to represent her interests in that semi-clandestine meeting between the remnants of whatever's down there. You know, you didn't wipe out the entire village. There were plenty of kobolds down there. There were plenty of hobgoblins still living down there. Really,
Not
you
for
had
lack of
focused-
trying.
Not for lack of trying, but you did mostly focus on the guards and the people that were there. You had ignored the city itself. It's not like you ransacked the city, right?
Right,
Although I
there's some people
suspect
in
it
the
probably would have been seen that way to quite a few people who were there. But still, you were focused more on the guards and those that were attacking to get through. Rather
I mean,
than, say,
they
taking
might have
over the
argued
city.
about us smashing every barrel we saw. Ransacking? I don't know.
Property damage. Lots of property damage. Lots of property damage. True.
we're gonna be
Yeah.
so popular in there.
Yeah.
Enough firebolt cantrips will set any city ablaze.
I was informed beforehand that breaking all containers was just part of the practice in town.
Mhm.
That's still correct.
Yeah, I learned that at adventuring school too.
Hey, how
Yeah.
else are you going to get whatever's inside of it? There is no other way to open a barrel. There is no other way.
I mean, it makes
We're
sense
here
in
to
your-
rescue you and break your
Oh, you-
crockery. I don't see
Exactly.
the problem.
You know, if you're on the run from the horde of angry civilians who are upset that you murdered their friends and family and are rampaging through their city, you don't have time to stop and open every box. You just smash it open. I'll look at her. Do you mean that we are to represent you legally, fiscally? What sort of responsibilities do we have here?
Well, it sounds like they're blaming you as much as they're blaming me. And you know who you dealt with down there the first time. And so basically, I would just like you to represent us at the meeting.
I see. The ones that we dealt with last time, they're not going to be talking.
Yes, yes. I don't know actually what's going to be down there. I would expect that this may be a meeting between us and just the human, us and the human and some of the village down there. I don't know what to expect. I don't think it'll be a trial.
Trial. No. I'm out. I'm out.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Pets only improve streams. There is nothing almost nothing a pet can do. Almost not. I say that. Let's not talk about what a pet could do to destroy a stream. All right.
It appears, my boon companions, that we must either go ourselves or hire an attorney.
Well,
I don't like lawyers. I
as a
think
matter of
it's,
fact,
oh, are you a lawyer?
No, if they were going to formally arrest us, they would have done so. Besides, who's going to formally arrest us? Nobody.
Also,
I
look
do
guiltily
think we
down
should
at the
escort
ground.
Wayfinder Dale into the Rusty Nail for her own safety, not to mention the safety
get
of
her
her liver.
Some pretzels or some peanuts or something.
Yeah, and bacon and broccoli juice.
Does it seem to anyone else like this is a trap?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That being
I
said,
think it's
I
an
don't have a
opportunity
problem
to make friends.
I don't have a problem walking into a trap. Like if you know it's going to be a trap, you can like counter trap or something like that,
Mhm.
right? It's only when you're surprised that it's a trap that it works, I guess.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Many times as walls have closed in on me, I've thought to myself, as I entered this room, not thinking that it's a trap, I am now trapped. If I understood that this was a trap, the steel spikes would elude me.
that's true, but see, that is the benefit. Like, at least for the fire room now, you know what to expect. Based at least of what you did last time, which was jump and get fire protection and manage to get your way around.
Yeah.
As such, you also know where the few of the spike pits are and spike traps are and things like that. So none of that is a particular concern getting back down to the river gate itself. In a
they have a-
moment, I'm going to take a brief break because I want to set up the encounter at the river gate in Fantasy Grounds and give everyone an opportunity to just kind of stretch their legs and all that sort of thing. But you find yourself down at the river gate, and you are not alone. As a matter of fact, there are quite a few people down there with you. Hobgoblins, kobolds, and a shadowy character, all in black.
Oh.
Dun, dun,
Bum,
dun.
bum,
Okay. Civilians
And now let's
armed.
take a quick break.
Alright.
Back in a minute or
Okay.
two. Stretch your legs. Do what you have to do. Okay. Yep.
I would have just for reference, I would have patted myself on the shoulder before we meandered down into this dangerous area and given myself vigilance blessings. So my first initiative roll would be with advantage.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fair.
Just to have that up,
Yeah.
because it lasts indefinitely until your next initiative roll.
Okay. That works. All right. Hey, I think this looking like this will work. Basically where we are here. So let me call up my story.
Can you put my sprite on there?
Oh, right. Sprite, sorry. I keep forgetting to do that. That would be an NPC and Sprite.
I mean, he'll probably be invisible most of the time, but she'll kind of need to know.
Yeah. Add that to the combat tracker. You don't remember if there's a quick way to just share a NPC sheet with someone.
If you pick up the sprite from the combat tracker, I think this is how it works, and drop it onto Lynn's character on the combat tracker, it should pop up on her screen and give her limited control.
Okay.
Alex, does he
I
go?
think I just unfortunately reset your avatar. Great, that worked.
Does the sprite go on my initiative or its own initiative? Hey, I'm a sprite. Wee. Alex.
I'm looking.
Okay.
All right, let me try that again real quick.
Let's see, 5 familiar.
It rolls its own initiative and acts
Yeah.
on its own
Anything.
turn.
And kinda on your turn.
I might have
But-
done it. That might have worked. Although now I've got 2 sprites. Why do I have 2 sprites? Did that do anything? Any chance?
I did not receive anything. No.
All right. Let me try one more thing.
It might.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay,
that
cool.
worked.
The answer is to drag basically the little dot info bit over to the character in the upper left of the screen, the main character
Okay.
roster. And I do have it set as friendly. All right, no problem on rolling your initiative with advantage. I will mention one other thing that I guess this group does not know that other groups for D&D Night do, which is that I also play a little weird thing with initiative. I reroll initiative at the start of every round, or every turn. That helps not only help mimic the chaotic effects of combat, but makes it a little less predictable in terms of who's going to be able to do what when. So I do it on purpose, that we reroll initiative at the start of every turn here. And that's handled automatically. But for your initial roll here, absolutely, Tom, go ahead and what is it you get again? What do you get to add?
Oh, it's just advantage. I roll it twice.
All right, so you should just be able to, over on the lower left end of Fantasy Grounds, click the advantage button.
Indeed.
And then
Is
when
there-
you make your roll, it'll have advantage on that roll.
Is
Awesome.
there two sprites on here? I think I got moved.
Yeah, there is. I messed up. Let me see. There was two sprites.
I think I got moved and replaced with a sprite icon.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
I
there's
deleted
also
your
a sprite.
character, but then I haven't put back the.
So this one I can move.
Yeah, that's actually you.
Okay. So I'll put me back
And this
where I was.
is, I believe, this is actually your sprite, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
I was getting confused. Like,
Yeah,
wait.
there you go.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So, yeah, that I think we're looking pretty good then. So I guess let's give this a shot. So you end up seeing really a lot of hobgoblins, many of them sitting at this point around the ring, kind of on the way to the river gate. If you remember, I've got a different image for the tracker here, but the river gate, is really a kind of a sewer-like structure down in the water, and then there's a bunch of hobgoblins rung on one side, and kobolds scattered throughout. The kobolds are allowed to just kind of hang out there and serve the hobgoblins when the hobgoblins want them to. Otherwise, the kobolds just kind of maintain their own life down in the steam tunnels and even kind of the periphery of the hobgoblin villages and things like that. They aren't treated well by the hobgoblins. Hobgoblins don't treat each other very well either, but they are allowed. They've been coexisting, in some manner of making it work for a while now. So the kobolds are kind of scattered throughout. The hobgoblins are kind of on one side, with an exception of standing right next to the river gate itself. The locked river gate itself is the presumed leader, representative of the current state of the hobgoblin village, along with the figure in black. Everyone looks at you as you kind of come through the passage to the area here, which is a little bit more represented in this screenshot.
What's the vibe in the room? Are they tense?
Tense.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's just you because you're tense, because you don't know what
Right.
to expect, and you do see that's an awful lot of hobgoblins.
Did anyone else remember
the
to
man
bring
in black
food?
or the figure in black have a ruby?
Yes. Yeah, it's a gigantic ruby about the size of, well, a lump of coal or something like that. A big gem. Flat-faced, cut, about that big, clasping what appears to
Set
be a
into a
large
chest
cloak.
or a necklace?
It's almost like it's a seal. It's a brooch. I don't know. It's some kind of thing that holds the cloak together, essentially, by the neck.
Do all these different groups seem to be tense towards each other or just towards us?
Towards you.
Okay.
Yeah,
But they're pals.
Yeah, well, you don't know that they're pals, but you're not seeing, for example, as you kind of look down toward where the shadowy figure is, along with the hobgoblin chieftain, whatever the title may be, they're just kind of standing there, kind of waiting around.
So as we approach them, I'm
You,
placing my
apparently.
hand on the hilt of my rapier, but I'm doing my best to just look really calm and confident and collected, like I don't give a shit that there's all these people here.
All right. Give me a skill check. Persuasion.
Persuasion?
Or something that might be relevant otherwise.
I'm good with persuasion.
I am approaching holding the cookies and pastries that I bought earlier.
Oh,
I rolled a 1. But it's still a 10? I'm visibly
Yeah.
sweating.
Maybe, maybe, yeah, okay, so that, I mean, well, the thing is you look very sure of yourself, but deliberately as if you're trying to project that you're very sure of yourself, even though you might not.
Right.
So, not that they see you as nervous or anything, but they're not really buying your confidence either.
Cool.
Did anyone else remember to bring food?
I'm sure Belladonna did.
I have 1 day of food.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, Belladonna, remember, if you guys remember the Shan-to-Kor dungeon itself, you've gone quite a ways before you actually get the river gate. You've already gone through the Kobold blockade, the Kobold village, and the steam tunnels all the way down and all that sort of thing. So you've had plenty of opportunity to pick up mushrooms and collectibles and things like that. There hasn't really been combat per se, because especially since you sort of went in there and cleared it all out, it's been used by humans and other people. So it's not quite the wild area it is. It's mostly just an empty area at this point. Minus the villages that are largely minding their own business. So you get down there and you've got food, and you said you brought some donuts. Is that right? Donuts.
Yeah, pastries, cookies,
Yeah.
picked up at the tavern.
Are we having a picnic, or you're going to bribe them? Like, why are we worried about food right now?
In many of the books I have read on the cultures and societies to be found across the face of this wonderful planet, food oftentimes is used. I believe it's called a potluck, where you sit down with others and convivially tell them about your disagreements and disgruntlements and
Well, if there's
dreams
a
and
donut,
hopes
maybe
and
we should
fears.
start with that. Maybe we
Hey, why not?
should- Okay. Who wants to do the talking here? We didn't discuss who's...
That's a good point.
Who is good at talking?
I would say perhaps the party might not pick Tome due to the
Yeah.
not 100% understanding of human interaction.
But he's got a +5 to persuasion.
Well, we'll get to those donuts in a second here.
Although we could roll with that. So what he
Yeah.
actually meant was this. You
And
misunderstood.
we can have multiple people.
I mean, you haven't actually presented the donuts to the Hobgoblin Chieftain
Not
and
yet.
Shadowy people yet, so...
Yes, I'm so sticking with my newfound friends. Or not quite
Belladonna,
newfound friends.
character-wise, might make some sense, being that person is less about kind of front-end violence and more about culture and diplomacy and all that, although there's certainly combat involved too, right?
Well, I casually placed my hand on Belladonna's shoulder and give her a little shove up there.
Oh, do ya?
You're on, champ! Go get him.
I'll follow her up with the cookies.
Okay, so I'm a halfling fighter being followed by a warforged with
I'm
cookies.
holding the cookies over her then, if she's a halfling.
All right, there we go. Halfling fighter, traveler type, probably the most neutral looking of the group to some extent, is followed behind by the Warforged, who has a box of, you said pastries.
Pastries, cookies, eclectic
Yes, I need to
sweets.
be very specific. What are you offering
Croissants.
them? You're
They
offering them
are
croissants.
honey
Yes.
glazed croissants with walnuts.
Okay, honey glazed croissants with walnuts. Yum.
Yes. Do we roll for nut allergies? Like, do I accidentally trick people?
Great! I love this idea. Yes, yeah, I will roll for nut
It's
allergies.
it's like a wild magic surge, but it's an
Yeah.
insta-kill spell.
So Sprouts, though, you are still definitely interested in being a part of the conversation
Yeah.
and make sure that your views are being represented here. Do you see yourself as kind of trying to almost butt ahead of the group, or just kind of be equal to maybe where Belladonna and Tome are marching forward?
I think I'll go up there with them and kind of stand, kind of kitty corner from Belladonna, but let her take the lead on the conversation.
I'll
But
hold
I
part
definitely
of-
want to be there for it.
I'll hold part of the cookie tray out to her so she can have a hand in it as well.
Okay. All right. And then I want to make sure Lee and Oro, there's a couple of options here. For one, if you're all standing together with your back to a group of hobgoblins that are sitting there, maybe that's not the wisest choice. So there's an option to perhaps be a little bit farther away as a guard or something like that, but it's up to you ultimately however you want to handle it. You could go as a group and just face the other way or something.
I will stay back a little bit. I will keep facing as they're facing, but my sprite, who is invisible, is looking at the other ones and will let me know if they start moving in on us.
Okay.
And I'll stand, behind most people, but to the side, just to keep an eye on as much as possible.
Right.
And being that I'm not the up front in the middle of it type, I'm more to the side, taking care of it in the middle, regardless of where I'm at, sort.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So I'm going to then put Tome over kind of, let's say, over here. Oro, you said you were... Where would you kind of put yourself? I'm not 100% sure it's still quite where to put you. In relation to the map here. We'll put you off to the side here, Sprout. You said you were kind of, off to the side that way.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Yeah.
And Lee, you said you were doing what again?
You know what? I'll kind of stay where I am.
Okay.
My sprite's facing the hobgoblins, and I'm facing the group, basically.
Yeah. Sounds good. I mean, I'm not really worried too much about facing. For the most part, we're just gonna allow it to be a more story-based action rather than anything else.
He's basically just keeping an eye on them, and he will let me know if they start pulling swords or something, so we don't get ambushed from behind
or from front.
All right.
Right. So you approach the hobgoblin captain and the dark cloaked figure. There is some kind of magic going on, because even though there is enough, I mean, it is torch lit, you're underground, it's well lit enough though, because this is to some extent a public area down here, in that lots of people use the river gate to go to, and not lots of people, but enough people that it is somewhat of a neutral ground, right? That said, it's not that dark. And even when you look directly at the shadowy person's face, you can't really make out features. It's almost like it's a blur. There's something going on there. It's not visibly blurred. It's just that whenever you try to look, you can't really see.
Like your eyes just slide off their face or something.
Yeah, your brain is just not resolving it.
Could I make an Arcana check to see if I'm familiar with what sort of magics might be concealing this, if it's tied to an item? I mean, obviously, I immediately look at the ruby, right?
Yeah, go ahead, give me an Arcana check here.
And I will go ahead and boost that with...
Ooh.
Okay, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes, you can clearly see that there is a bit of a low aura style pulse. It's not visible, but you can feel it. And you feel a pulse really coming from that ruby around the neck. So it seems highly likely that that cloak allows its wearer to have their face be largely obscured from thought.
And because I did roll a d8, my die degrades to a d6, sadly.
Oh no.
So it'll be less effective from now on, unless I roll a 1, in which case it'll step back
cool.
up.
That's kind of cool. That's a neat mechanic. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's really cool.
Yeah. All right, so you're approaching fairly confidently to the group here. And as you approach, the hobgoblin starts growling.
Greetings. I'm Belladonna Triple Chins. May I ask whom I'm addressing?
Yes. Hetman Shog's brother.
Oh.
Donut?
Condolences and bereavements, my friend. I understand that you've been going through a
Congratulations on your
hard time.
advancement.
I'll extend the pastries over the halfling. And then I'll look at Belladonna to like ascertain if this is the correct thing to do.
And I shake my head no, but I reach for a
gosh.
pastry.
I will retract the cookies then if it's not the right thing
Well,
to do.
no,
and
I'm
not
gonna make
offer him.
I'm gonna make a skill check of some kind, but my skill check as an NPC is a little. So I'm going to call it, let's say, a charisma check, and we'll see what happens here. All of my rolls should be public. All right, so a 10. So he amazingly does not immediately attack you, having been presented with treats as a way to say sorry for killing your brother. However, it hasn't improved his mood either. It overall managed to be a net neutral, I guess, all said and
Take
done.
the pastry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cross my arms and glare at him hard, and I'm going to try to intimidate him into thinking that we're the scariest people on the planet.
Yeah, okay, make an intimidate
Can I
check.
do it? Okay.
I will reinforce that by handing out croissants.
Hey,
Total
very good.
26.
Ooh.
He at first, he's kind of being almost like what you would expect if it was a tense standoff thing, like reaching for the pastries, going. But then he sees you, and he's just like, back to business. He doesn't grab the pastry.
I sigh, having failed
Really?
once again to make a
Yeah.
genuine connection.
Yeah, you intimidated him away from grabbing the pastry. So, but you also brought it back to business to some extent. There, Sprouts, where all of a sudden he's letting his emotions just sort of settle for a second here and go back. The shadowy figure says, "You are those who stole the seal last time, huh? Did you have any idea of what you were doing?"
Apparently not.
What did we do?
Stealing a cultural artifact of the giants for no other reason than a human asked you to?
Well, they seem very trustworthy.
She asked nicely.
That's certainly your view of our actions. We may have a different stance,
And
but
what stance
that's
would
not
that
really
be?
why we're here right now.
Oh, but it is why you were here right now.
She offered us good named items for doing that.
The time.
Now, from the lofty vantage point of level 8, those items
Yeah, I don't use them
started
anymore.
long ago.
But they're great for passing off.
Now is the time to move forward,
That's
to forget the past.
I disagree about forgetting the past, the figure says, but it is indeed time to move forward. He well, you think it's a he. It could just be someone cloaked, right? But the somewhat male features pulls out 2 bags of what appear to be coin, tosses one your way, and tosses one to the hobgoblin, and says, "Here, Clunacious." Tosses a bag. You open it up. Actually, Belladonna, you managed to catch it because it was about ready to hit your face. Apparently not used to chucking things at halfling height. Put it up and find one plat.
This is nothing. Why are you throwing these coins to me? I am insulted.
I assume that he
And I turn
wanted
to
you
the
to have
hobgoblin
them.
and say, "Aren't you insulted?"
The hobgoblin is just looking and saying, "Why did you hand me gold?" And the creature, or the shadowy figure, says, "This is to put everyone back on the same level related to your losses. It'll pay for damages suffered by either of your sides. Now, let us discuss the
Wait,
manner...
he only gave you gold? He gave me platinum.
That's very true. In many cultures, an unequal wear guild is a sign of disrespect.
Well, he actually looks and he's like, okay, plat. So... All right, well, regardless...
Hey, I thought I had you.
The shadowy figure says, now that we have at least made equal past damages, it's a matter of time to discuss the ownership of the seal of Shan-to-Kor. It is my belief that the giants, this is their cultural artifact and belongs solely with them and their place to decide what to do with it.
Sounds like you're the owner of it now, and it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with it.
Ooh.
Right? Looking at the blurry figure.
And I think that it should be returned to Sharn, where it was safely protected, a lot like the Elgin marbles.
The Elgin marbles? I don't know the Elgin marbles.
Cultural.
Okay. Yep.
The Elgin marbles were taken from Greece
Okay.
and are in the British Museum and a source of great controversy about cultural appropriation. But let's move on from there.
Sure. No problem.
It should go back to Sharn.
Well, still,
It should go back to Sharn.
it should go back to Sharn. That would simply put it back in the hands of the people who ordered you to steal it.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm not seeing a problem with that.
we wouldn't have done a terribly good job stealing it if it's back here, right?
And you,
We
he
did an
points to
excellent job.
and you, he points to the hobgoblin, Clunatius. While we may be friends, it was not yours to sell either. At which point he says, it is if I take it by force.
Seriously, always force. You know, there's nothing to be wrong with discussing this over pastries.
Diplomacy, espionage, seduction, these are all other tools that can be employed.
So the main reason I've brought you down here is so that you, he points to Clunatius, and you, he points to Belladonna and the group, can meet each other face to face and finally get some justice for your past actions. I, meanwhile, will be taking the seal, at which point he pulls the seal from the cloak. It is a seal that has a fist and two lightning bolts on it and kind of crackles with magical energy. We'll be bringing this to the giants, unless one of you can convince me otherwise.
If you wanted to give it to the giants that bad, you would have done it already and you wouldn't even be here. So clearly you're fishing for a reason not to. Already.
I am simply a person who cares about history. It is true that the seal has not had an owner per se for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it had been set up with a guardian to watch over the seal to prevent its removal. And there it had sat deep within the halls of Shan-to-Kor for a very long time. It wasn't until the hobgoblins, your brother, he says to Clunatius, decided to learned its location and decided for his own purposes to steal it and sell it to the giants, that it was actually removed from its, one might argue, rightful place. So perhaps I should take it back there. However...
So what I think your real goal is to set our two groups against one another in the hopes that we can... I don't think you're really here to negotiate at all.
Oh, I'm not here to negotiate. I am here to see you two kill each other. As a matter of fact, feel free to start any time. I'm just saying that when you're done, is going either to the giants or it's going back. Except I don't think it belongs back there either. Because the giant's only put there to keep it safe from others. And it's clearly not safe there anymore.
Oh my god, I turned to the hobgoblin. Oh my god, he's gonna talk us to death.
I look over at Shog and I say, I don't know about you, but I don't like being manipulated. Why don't we take care of this guy instead of doing what he wants?
Didn't they say they were friends, though?
They
Well,
did. He
not
did
a
say
very
that
good
they were
friend.
friends.
If he's
But-
trying to...
Yeah,
Sound more like frenemies to me.
perhaps.
So what does Shog think of my suggestion?
Shog is kind of glaring at you and say, I would be happy to kill you anytime you want. And he sort of...
Are you challenging me to single combat? Let's do it! Is this a duel? Me and you?
Ignatius
Just the two of
challenging you to
us?
single combat. That is really interesting. Let me just do this again just for the heck of it. You didn't get him up enough to go engage in single combat with me. You haven't earned that right enough yet, but you poked him. You poked him. You got to him. You can tell.
I'll look over at the hobgoblin, and I will turn to him, brother of the. Oh dear, I don't remember his name. He was a very fine fellow, though. If we are going to be immersing ourselves in a horrific bloodbath from which only one side will emerge alive, victorious, and attached to all of their limbs, I believe we should set some ground rules to assure a fair and fun time is had by all. Do we want to, pair off one person to one person in a line? When one person dies, the next person steps up? Is this going to be like a ring in the ground and we cheer on people? Is this going to be a points-based system? Are we going to measure how much blood people use or lose and then hang the buckets up somewhere and determine who's the winner from that? What are you thinking? I'm very open to ideas here.
Ignatius turns over to the shadowy figure and says, well, my plan is, since these fools walked into my village, that we will take them, drag them back, conduct a public trial, and then hang them in justice if we don't kill them now.
Yeah,
Roll
I'm
for
done.
initiative.
Okay, I'm gonna attack the shadowy figure.
Yeah. And there's going to, roll for initiative because we got some arrows being fired and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerry,
Hmm.
I've been attempting to detect thoughts on the shadowy figure.
Okay. Yeah, so the shadowy figure, you can tell that the person is angry, somewhat confused, thinking they're doing the right thing, that they think that they have stolen basically an artifact and are returning it to its proper place, that either being where it was discovered or to the giants themselves to determine what they will. You did hear, but of course that's a lie, or something to that extent, in regard to the idea that the giants would reunite and crush the rest of society. Although maybe history might paint a somewhat different picture. And that's about what you got that I can think of. Otherwise, you just see, to some extent, they appear to be willing to go with the chaos.
Okay. And then I rolled my traditional initiative roll, so I think I'm ready.
All right. You did indeed. Well, there's always next turn. All right, that's the advantage of rolling for initiative every time. All right, so let's start then. So, Belladonna, thankfully, you were able to jump just slightly out of the way while an arrow plucked right about where would have been your shin just a moment ago. What do you want to do?
I want to attack the shadowy figure
Okay.
with my warhammer.
Okay. So you're gonna attack the shadowy figure with the Warhammer. So what you'll do is open up your character sheet and see the section of the Warhammer. There's a dice with a +6 on it for your weapon. You'll click left mouse, hold it down, and actually drag the dice over to the person you're attacking. And you don't actually need to move over there. So you just drag the die over to the NPC. Close. It didn't, for some reason, register on the PC. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So you rolled a 12, and it was, unfortunately, a miss with the Warhammer. Do you have a follow-up action or something like that?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And like I say, we're not... If there is movement action, you could say, hey, I'm going to move over to a different area or break away in that. But we're not representing it specifically on the map. We don't need to.
Okay, so just the dice,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. We're
Okay.
using this for combat mechanics, basically. So, however, one of the hobgoblins is next. And let me see. Go. One of the hobgoblins is going to, they're closest to you. He's going to drop down from the wall and come running over to probably Oro, because you're kind of toward the side there. So you would be maybe somewhat closest to the wall. And Oro's going to attack you with a long sword.
Okay.
And that is a hit.
Okay. I will react. Use my reaction to cast Shield,
Okay.
which will boost my AC to 22.
Okay, nice for like subsequent stuff, right? All right. And then I will roll damage.
No, it works on that.
Oh, it works on that. Okay.
Yep.
So there's actually 2 less on that, so you only take 4 damage. Right?
No, I would take none because it didn't hit me.
Oh.
As a reaction, I throw up a shield that protects me until the beginning of my turn, and it interrupts.
And what's the cause of that shield attack?
Being attacked.
So does that mean every attack that for the rest of this campaign you can just block it until the next round?
As long as I
Consumes
don't
the spell
mind
slot.
spending spell slots.
Okay. All right.
And you can roll higher than I can shield, so.
Okay. Oh yeah, because it would be 2 for the purposes of the attack roll. Right? In terms of AC.
It adds 5 to my AC.
Oh, 5.
So
okay.
if you roll a 23 or higher, I can't do anything about it.
Okay. All right.
And I
Well.
can just decide whether I'm going to use it or not.
All right, there you go. No problem. It bounced off. The kobolds at this point are mostly just like watching. They're not getting involved in the fight. At least not immediately here. They're going to kind of let the humans and hobgoblins maybe duke it out. But it did just start. Hobgoblin 4 is going to shoot a longbow at Lee. All right. That would be a hit as well, unless you've got something there, Lee, to prevent a arrow attack.
Not really.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. That was a pretty serious damage blow there with 8 points of damage. So you took an arrow into the leg
Right.
in a way that was like,
Right to the knee. Yeah.
they are not joking around. It is the sprite's turn.
Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to try to do this. So basically, the sprite is going to shoot the figure.
All right. You hit. With what?
It's a short bow. It says he must make a DC Constitution saving throw. On a failure, he's poisoned for 1 minute.
Okay. All right.
And
Nice.
And it also does 1 piercing damage, which I'll
You said
stagger.
DC what saving throw?
10?
18,
Oh.
because it uses yours.
Oh. Oh, okay.
But
So
what
DC
kind of save is that?
con
Okay.
save.
Okay.
If he gets a total of 5 or less, he goes unconscious. But
Yeah, if he rolls 5 or less, he falls unconscious.
Nope. 13.
Okay.
so poison for a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's
And-
poisoned for a minute.
That can be a status effect, right? That we can add.
Target falls unconscious. That I think that does make the sprite become visible. Does the attack make him visible? Sprite
Yes.
turns visible until it attacks. Yeah. So
Sorry, got
now he's visible, and his name is 7-Up.
7 up. All right. I like
He
it.
has some serious psychological schisms going on.
I haven't seen a character like that since I forced a character named Pepsi into one of Ilya's campaigns.
All right, so that's the sprite's turn.
All right. Cool.
It doesn't let me pass.
No, I'll take care of it. It's just easier for me to deal with the combat tracker that way. The
Yeah.
kobolds are mostly, like I say, they're just watching. They haven't reacted yet.
Good.
Hobgoblin is going to run up to the group here. So I'm going to move Hobgoblin 9 kind of more over by the group here. And is going to attack you, Sprouts, with a longsword. Okay. And is going to have a martial advantage as well. How do I apply that? If it hits, okay. Ooh, a 20. Not natural 20, is a modified 20. So it is a direct hit with a longsword. And is going to take martial advantage, so an extra 7 damage on top of what I'm about to roll here.
I would like to use Uncanny Dodge to half the total.
Okay. So it'd be 7 plus 7, so 14, so you take 7 damage. Which actually modifies it just fine. Alright, that's that attack. Hobgoblin 2, where do I have Hobgoblin 2? Goblin 2 is a ways away, I think. Yeah, Hobgoblin 2 is not ready to attack yet, but is pulling out a bow and getting into position. Hobgoblin 5 is close enough to attack with a long bow and is going to also shoot a bow at you, Tome.
Oh no. I have my kite shield out at this point.
Specifically, actually, maybe aiming at that box of pastries.
Oh, not the pastries. It's a miss.
It is a
down.
miss. Yep. It shot through the box of pastries. And,
I
hit
interposed
the
my
ground.
shield, protecting the pastries at my expense.
There
That
you
was
go.
very rude.
Sprouts, you're up.
So the hobgoblin that attacked me
Is
he-
Hobgoblin 9. That's the one that's kind of down by
Okay.
the shadowy figure.
Is he 5 feet away from the shadowy figure?
Yes.
Okay.
Within 5 feet. Within 5 feet. Because that's how the Hobgoblin was able to impose martial advantage.
Okay, well, I'm going to draw my +1 rapier, and I'm going to attack him, but on the opposite side from the shadowy figure. And
Okay.
I'm going to take a stab at him, but then right after that, I'm going to pull away and try to drag him away from his friends.
Okay.
So I'm going to make an attack roll. For 27.
Yeah, that's a direct hit. No problem.
For 11 points of damage.
That's some pretty heavy damage there. And you
And
said you
then-
were going to like kind of drag away as well.
Yeah, I've got a thing called fancy footwork, which lets me kind of I mean, he won't move, I don't think, until it's his turn. But basically, I can back up without having to use disengage action.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna be attempting that on my turn, but I don't think he moves.
But
until
you
his turn.
said specifically you were going to try to drag the hobgoblin away more than 5 feet away from the shadowy figure. How were you going to do that?
Well, I'm just gonna I'm approaching him, stab, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna step backwards. I'm gonna use movement to move back.
Oh, with the
In
idea
the hope
that
that on his
okay.
turn he will to continue to stay engaged with me, that he'll follow me.
Okay. All right, good deal. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Cool. All right, the hobgoblin. Let's see, which one's the captain? Fortunately, I don't have my own. There we go. Okay. The hobgoblin captain is staying back here, kind of a mid-guard, and is going to chuck a spear at Belladonna.
I don't think I have anything to block that with, so.
Yeah, probably not. There we are. All right. Just getting it in position. All right. Chucks the spear right at the group there. Misses. Manages to knock into the water right near your feet. Maybe being smaller and a smaller target is a good thing in this case. All right, it is the
I think
shadowy
so.
figure's turn. All right, and is going to disengage and is going to make a full movement away from the group.
Howard.
Hobgoblin 10 here is going to use a bow at, or shoot a bow at Sprouts. Ooh, and that is a hit. 4. Six points of damage there, Sprouts.
Oh, my liver.
Hobgoblin 6 is shooting a bow at Tome. And that is a miss.
Catch it on the shield. I strongly condemn your actions. Strongly.
And Lee, it's your turn.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe also on my bonus action, the sprite can shoot again. Is that correct?
That's
Yes.
how your one of your invocations work. Yeah.
Okay, so he will shoot. 7-Up will shoot at the figure again.
I just got the name.
9. I don't know if that's gonna hit.
No, almost certainly not.
Okay. So then with my action, I have targeted Hobgoblin number 6, and I'm going to try sleep, which
Okay.
20 feet, everything within 20 feet of Hobgoblin 6 will be included.
Yep.
So let's see here.
I can actually draw a little. It's a circle there, right? So like 20
Yeah.
feet of
Yeah.
Hobgoblin 6. That would be roughly, let's say, 1, 2.
That's a-
Let's call it 3. Let's call it 3 other Hobgoblins that
Okay.
are in that group.
It emanates out depending
Mhm.
on hit points. So
Yep. Yeah.
So let's see. How do I do that? Do I
You
hit
roll it.
effect?
yeah, just hit
Yeah.
the effect, and that'll show how many hit dice worth it is.
Should I-
Because it doesn't
Should I
actually-
target all of them?
Nope.
No, just the one? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the effect.
Okay.
Hold on.
So there's a dice number there. I think. I
Damage. Okay, so 37 hit points within there goes to sleep.
All right. So, no problem. No problem. So, definitely Hobgoblin 6 is zonked out for sure. That much we know. Where did I end up with 6? So, if they have about 20, it's about 20, and you said 37, Hobgoblin 2. Yeah. So let's just call it an even 2. Hobgoblin 6 and 2 are knocked out or asleep.
Awesome. Then how do I mark my spells off? I have, it has pact magic. Is
Yep.
that's what I, so I only have 2 spells? Okay.
Yep. But you get them back on a
But-
short rest.
Right, okay.
Do you just call it unconscious, or is there actually a sleep effect you can just place? Oh, yeah, there's a sleep effect you can just place on them. Right?
It's unconscious.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And that, let's see, that lasts, how long does that last?
It's like a minute or so. Or
So,
until they get hit. Something like that.
yeah, until they get attacked, or 1 minute. Oh, and to do so, I picked up a spider cricket off the ground. Crushed
Nice.
it. There we go.
Poor.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. So now we have got one of the slightly more difficult mobs here that's going to be attacking you. The Hobgoblin is going to move. There's 3. Okay. This one. Yeah. Is going to move basically within range and cast a fireball.
Is this like older editions? Do I roll an Arcana check to figure out what he's casting, or
Well, you can. Yeah, you can if you want to.
'cause that's
Otherwise,
like
you're
a la
going to know it when the
3.5.
fireball starts hitting you. But sure.
That would presumably be too late.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah.
fireball.
And I roll an Arcana check, and then I'm going to add my D6 to that. Okay.
Sure. Good
So
enough. You
that's-
can recognize a fireball being cast.
Okay. I am going to go, and as I see him striding forward and pulling out the pinch of bat guano and sulfur, I'm going to go,
Yeah.
uh-oh, not good. And
Yep.
I'm going to point my finger commandingly at him and go, no, lo, niet, and cast Counterspell at just basic 3rd level. And 3rd level spell to 3rd level spell, I believe it just goes poof, or do I need to make a roll for that?
I think that works.
I would need to look up counterspell. Let me see.
Okay.
Third
I
level
actually-
or lower
yes.
is just counterspelled.
And then
Fourth
if it's-
level or higher, there's
We make
dice.
opposed checks. Yep, I have
Yeah,
the
it is
spell
a third
right over
level
here.
spell being cast. So
So it goes poof.
okay. Speak.
I looked at him. Very, very, very bad. You have been naughty.
All right. There you go. Yeah, that works.
No
You've used
cookies for you.
the cost to
And
you
that's
is
my
a third
reaction.
level spell slot. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, probably a good one. Probably the
Third
right
level
call.
spell to 3rd level spell. Good.
A
good
fireball to the face is not real good. So,
trade.
Tome, it's your turn.
All right. So I'm still standing, right behind Belladonna. So we have like Clunacious is sort of just off to the front of us and like a bit to the left. How are things looking? How tightly are these people grouped?
Fairly, well, not that tightly. If you can kind of picture, I can actually bring the image of the river gate back up. You are down by the gate itself.
Okay.
When they've been dropping down from this left wall in the image, kind of going down and running up and attacking you. Some of the casters are up kind of are up and around. The kobolds are just kind of scattered throughout. Well, at this point, they haven't attacked. They haven't done much of anything yet. They're just kind of slow on the reaction there.
And with that,
yeah.
And so I'm assuming the hobgoblin caster is perched on the lip of the ledge,
Yeah.
staring down at us.
Yeah. That's what
Okay.
had happened. And you saw it, basically, the hunchback one were like, uh-oh. Boink.
In that case, I'm going to go and oh man, it's risky. I don't know that he's a shaman, right? I don't know that he's powered by wisdom in character. As a fellow caster.
I mean, kind of, because you did, remember, encounter
Yeah.
these people before. You've encountered their spellcasters from this village before. You have some sense of who they are and what they can do. So yeah, to some extent you kind of know. You know, unless they were to surprise you for some reason.
I'm going to play it safe. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stride, not quite within 5 feet of Clunacious, but like stride out in and amongst the hobgoblins and bellow loudly to them. You know, I really don't like what you're doing here. We could have solved this in any number of acceptable ways, fights to the death in a blood pit or something, and yet you've chosen this, and I really have to disagree. And I'm going to point up at that caster, and I am going to cast Mind Sliver on him.
Okay, that would be Hobgoblin Spellcaster 3
Yes,
specifically.
the one who tried.
Cast, yeah,
the one who tried to fire.
and I believe
ball
they are
us.
over to the right of this little sleep ball here, right north of where the 20-foot.
Awesome.
Yep.
So let's see. It's if I drag that over there, does that work?
Yep, and then I've got the chance to do the save, which is a modified 13, which is a failure.
Indeed. Against a DC 17. So it goes ahead and I'm gonna roll damage on that.
All right.
It deals 5 points of damage, and the next time he's forced to make a save before the end of my next turn, he rolls a d4 and subtracts that from whatever his save is.
Okay. All right. So if anyone wants to make a save-based attack, now might be the time to do it.
And I'm gonna stand there and just try and loudly bellow and call attention to myself.
Otherwise, it's just a psychic neener, your head hurts. kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
I point and a thin sliver of silver force like arcs over and like enters through one ear.
Nice. All right. Well, Hobgoblin 3 is ready to do something here. Where are you? 3. Spellcaster 3. Hobgoblin. Why am I not seeing you? Okay. Well, now you're on the map. Maybe I didn't put you on the map yet. All right, Hobgoblin 3 is standing back and is using a bow attack. They're going to kind of make you come up to them. And is attacking you, Sprout. A modified 10, which is a full miss. Now, we have one of the other spellcasters who has seen what has happened and is not pleased. There we go. That's it. That was one of the people who had been in the range of the sleep spell, but managed to not fall asleep. That person is going to cast a Ray of Frost on you, Lee, for
Yay!
casting that sleep spell. All right, that that is a modified 21, which is a direct hit from Ray of Frost. Thankfully, it's not too bad. 8 points of damage, however.
Oh.
Yeah. And I think... check.
Yes, they hit Mummy.
Those hobgoblins can't complain about their damage rolls.
No.
Right.
Yeah. All right, and is going to follow up by moving somewhat out of the way of the sleep spell area and back up. All right, we have got Captain 2, who's taken a dirt nap, or a long nap all of a sudden. Hobgoblin 7 is the one that's up here and is going to... had been flinging a bow at Oro. Actually, that was a longsword attack, rather, at Oro, and is going to do that again. All right, that is a modified 15 miss. And Hobgoblin, the next spellcaster, which is up here, is going to cast... Do I really want to pull out that one right now?
No.
All right. No, it's not going to. Is, however, going to cast Lightning Bolt.
Maybe the other one.
So we're going to say the line is Belladonna and Tome. And the rest of you were far enough away that you don't have to worry about it.
I don't have a reaction, so I cannot do anything. And that is
I have a reaction, but I can't do anything.
I'm rolling the save from the combat log on you. I just find it's easier to do it that way. All right, so I see a failure on the part of Belladonna for that saving throw, and a success on Tome, amazingly.
I block it with the bag of pastries.
Man.
The bag
and then
of pastries
realize
just
what
explodes in the
realize what I've
air.
done.
Yeah.
I have made a very poor choice here.
No, do you know what it was? It was the aluminum foil that they had the pastries wrapped
Exactly.
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Popped them.
If I recall, basically a save that was still half damage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what'll happen, and the reason I rolled it that way is that way if I just put the damage on your character, it will automatically be applied correctly.
But it's actually him getting burned by the foil, not
Right.
Yeah, right.
I like hot bits of croissant splatter over me and I have to batter it off of my wooden chassis.
Yeah, so you took, it was a raw 26 halved down to 13 points of damage for you, Tome. And Belladonna, unfortunately, you are taking a very serious amount of damage here. 8d6 of lightning damage. Maybe part of it is that you're more in the water, because there's more of you to be, less of you, I guess a larger percentage of you that is submerged. Ooh. And you have taken 31 points of damage.
Woo!
Just in time for Clunacious to glare at both you and Tome. And it's going to do, let's see.
Belladonna, probably at least one or two of that was croissant damage.
Yeah, more than likely.
Because you know how hot sugar is.
True.
Seriously.
So Clunacious gets multiple attacks here. And is going to
at this point I am smoking.
You are dazed and you're in the water and you're hurt. And you're also going to get a shield to the face with a shield bash on the part of Clunacious. And that is a hit. So, unfortunately, my dice entry keeps going in the way of where I want to put the effect. But you take a small amount of bludgeoning damage. 5 points of bludgeoning damage. But you do need to make a strength save, which I am rolling on you. You failed.
Oh.
So on
thanks.
top of that, you are prone. So you've basically got zapped, bash shield to the face, and now you've fallen into the water in a very serious condition. He is then going to turn his attention to you, Tome, and follow up with 2 attacks.
All right. as I spit a piece of croissant at him.
Uh, okay, I will do that in a second. I'm going to follow up with 2 attacks. The first attack is a hit.
Oh.
It's a modified 27 for...
That'll do it.
Yeah. For 7 points of slashing damage, and then a second strike, follow-up strike, is a direct miss. It went wild. Oro, it is your turn.
You know, I've met people like you. You're disturbed.
Alright.
Disturbed in the head.
Indeed. All right. Uh-oh. What you got going for me here?
Well, let's. So, I am going to weave a pattern in the air,
Okay.
which in its nature is hypnotic. Let's see. See if that selected some.
So, yeah. Staff of Power, huh? That's a fun weapon, though. That's pretty much going to mean you don't have to worry about charges or anything, but that's fine, because... All right. So
I mean, I do.
a little
Most of
bit,
its stuff eats charges.
Yeah, but for the purposes of a day-long campaign, you won't run out.
Yeah.
What are you
This
doing?
is just me.
So remind me
regularly
again,
casting.
what are you casting with your staff of power?
I'm casting a hypnotic pattern.
Right,
And that's
hypnotic
just-
pattern. And that does what?
Just me casting it.
All right, roll a save on them. All right, there we go. A
Well,
combination
that-
of mostly successes with a few, actually no, a bunch of failures there.
Yeah. One succeeded. Number
One success, the
Hobgoblin
rest
number 3.
failures. Yep. All right. Wow. And that does, so for the purposes of hypnotic pattern, what does that do again?
It incapacitates them as they stare at it
Okay. For how long?
a minute.
Okay. All
Or
right.
until I lose concentration.
Sure. Yeah, pretty good. So
Or
you've
they take
got,
damage.
you currently then have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the group incapacitated, either asleep or hypnotized.
Nice.
And I'm going to move, just for the purposes of organization, I'm going to move the one that made it save out of the group. Yep.
Okay.
I just realized I have a couple of magic items, one of which changes my saving throw DC, so I don't know if that would have affected the guy.
It's already added.
Is it? Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you're going to do, Oro?
Let's see. And I'm in melee with a hobgoblin.
Mhm.
Okay. Then,
Yeah, specifically this hobgoblin guy up here. I can move him closer to you.
and that is it.
All right. Hobgoblin 1 is hypnotized. Hobgoblin spellcaster. Yep. Is one of the spellcasters is still around and is going to go and down by where the hypnotic pattern is and cast Fog Cloud to obscure that area to help protect the people who are currently within it. So, let me do a 20-foot circle around the same group that we just hit. And anyone trying to attack them is under the effects of an obscured effect from the fog cloud that just got cast. All right, and that brings us to the end of the turn. So let's go from the top here. And we, again, re-roll initiative. So we're up to one of the hobgoblins that is currently incapacitated.
Did it re-roll? Because I didn't move.
It looks like some people are...
Yeah, it did. It
Yeah.
did. I just didn't move. That's funny.
Oh, you don't need to
Sorry.
re-roll your initiative at the start of the turn. I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Oh.
It'll do it automatically for you.
I see.
Yeah, you just need to roll it at
Oh,
the very
sorry.
start. Yeah, that's fine that if you re-roll it now. You can. I mean, it's the same basic principle of random. But it'll do that automatically for you.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yes, I could tell this time I rolled a 2 instead of a 1.
Yeah. All right, so we got one under a hypnotic pattern. The kobolds are reacting. Remember, we're only really about 10 or so seconds into this combat, and things just exploded with fire and lightning and attacks and arrows and what have you. The kobolds are mostly protecting themselves and fleeing. And honestly, you're not seeing much of them because you're mostly engaged with the hobgoblins, so you've largely ignored the kobolds at this point. They seem to be kind of on the edge, talking amongst each other, some of them backing away so that they're out of danger and what have you, but you're not seeing them attack yet or anything like that. All right, we got our another one of our hobgoblin spellcasters here who is fully ready to attack. So that person is going to, again, kind of walk up towards the edge and is going to cast, let's see, a higher level, a 3rd level Milf's Acid Arrow on, let's see, who would that be? How about you, Oro? Wants to try to take you out. So you're getting a Milf's Acid Arrow here. Which is...
Melts acid oro.
Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Range spell attack. Okay, there we go.
See, we should have dueled in puns.
Yeah. All right, that is a hit on a modified 19. Now you do get a let's see,
Reaction.
on a hit.
Which in this case will be shield.
Yeah. Is that going to prevent the ongoing damage from the Melfs?
It prevents Melfs from hitting me at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, good enough then. However,
And it's cheaper than counterspelling it, so.
And what are you using to what are you checking off on your shield?
First level spells.
Of just your regular level spells, not like your Staff of Power?
Right.
Okay, that's fine then.
I haven't used the Staff of Power charges for anything yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I would just say that I'm not going to give you like an extra. I don't want you sitting there with 20 shields like this because that's just going to make it
can't
impossible
do
to
it.
attack you.
Yeah, it doesn't have
Yeah.
shield on it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. No problem. All right. Hobgoblin.
That would be a
5.
hilarious item.
Well, it would just basically mean that there's no real way to engage with your character in combat through the course of the day, and I just don't really want that. Right? That doesn't make sense.
That's an entirely different item.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. But as long as you're having to sacrifice something to use up those shields to prevent it, that's fine. All right. Hobgoblin 8 is still standing and fine. Where did Hobgoblin 8 go? Yeah, is actually fairly close to the edge there. So is going to jump down and join the fray. Specifically the fray within melee range of Belladonna, Tome, and Sprouts. And is going to attack you, Sprouts.
I'm actually, I think I should be down. I mean, it's fine if he wants to attack me, but I would be down by, who's this guy? The one I was engaged with before.
That was this one?
Yeah, the one down at the bottom.
That's a good point. Okay, so there we go. And is again doing a. This one does not have a multi-attack. However, nope, rolled a 9 for a miss. So that is that. Hobgoblin 9 here is currently hypnotized, or no?
No, I think that was the
No,
one.
that's the one I just. Yeah, that one does have martial advantage, so I can. Let's see. An extra 7 damage that I hit if I'm within 5 feet of an ally, which I most definitely am. So. Ooh, and that is a hit with a long sword.
I'm gonna uncanny dodge again.
Okay. And that halves, right? Is there an effect on your uncanny dodge that you can place on your character? I bet there is. Click on the little hourglass or the little magnifying glass and see if there's like an effect. Something that you can drag.
I just have to find the right tab. Hang on. No.
No, maybe not. Maybe not, huh? Wait, no one uncanny dodge. I'll just have it then. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll just have to do it that way. All right.
I have one for evasion, but not for uncanny dodge.
Yeah. All right, so the amount of damage would be 3 plus. Extra 2d6. Why is that not working? Okay, I don't want 2 of them. Hang on a quick second. Let me take care of that. I just got 1. Anyway, it's another 2d6 damage. I'm just going to roll it this way. So it'll be 9, 10, 11, 12. So 6 points of damage. In total, you've already taken 3, so add 3 points to you on the combat tracker. And then we're done. You are up to 19 points of damage. Okay. The kobolds are still hanging around. The captain tier is asleep. Hobgoblin 3 is going to use a bow attack on Yuli.
Whee!
And that is a miss. Tome, you're up.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, based upon, so we've had 4 spellcasters sort of appear over the ledge.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're like
And
hanging
they've
back,
said-
moving
yeah.
forward, casting, and going back.
So they're huddled together like a group of friends, right?
They're scattered
sort of-
fairly wide across the
Hmm.
the sort of Rivergate Canyon, as it were.
Wider
but they're
than
within
20 feet.
Yes, you could not get all 4 within 20 feet. You could,
How-
however, get a couple of them.
2, 3. As I look up at
I would
the
say, well, let me double check where I've got them on the map, but I believe these 2 in the corner would probably be appropriate. Like you could get 2 and 4,
and then
or you
didn't-
could get 2
right
and
3
3.
didn't drop down either.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, none of them have dropped. None of the casters, other
Yeah.
than maybe that one. No, none of the casters have dropped down. So, but they are further than 20 feet away. However, you can just target like say 4 and 3, or 4 and 2, or 2 and 3. That would be fine. So, but you can't get all 4.
Yeah. In that case, can I maneuver myself to a point where I'm within roughly 30 feet of all, if not most, of my party members?
Yeah, that would be basically bringing you back down, or down pretty close to where you are actually.
Okay.
I don't think either Oro or Lee are farther than 30 feet away from the rest
Yeah,
of the party, are they?
mindful of where the spellcasters
Probably
are
not.
now, I'm going to step out of line from Belladonna
Okay.
to make sure that we're not presenting a neat formation
Yeah.
that someone can throw a lightning bolt or another ray down.
Yes.
And then after that, I'm going to pull off the thick glasses that I wear in honor of the only human I've ever really known for a significant amount of time, and hold them up, and from them, as I concentrate, will emanate a aura of twilight that will fall over everyone. And what this goes, and what it does is it's Divine Sanctuary. At the end of the turn, I can give, it says here, a D8 of temporary hit points to any creature that I choose that ends its turn within the effect. And that is going to be my action. And then is swilling a potion a swift action?
No, swilling a potion is an action.
Okay. Then I shall go and channel that using my channel divinity. And then I can't do anything else.
So
I
you
will
have the
end.
ability to grant 1d8 hit points back, basically, to everyone in the party as an action. Is that right? Did I hear that right?
No, it's let's see if I can actually just drag it
It's
down
a
to the chat.
30-degree aura, or
Here,
30-foot aura.
Yeah, you can click. You guys can click on it to read it.
Oh, I see.
It lasts for a minute, and every round, whenever a creature ends its turn in there, I can roll it a d8 temporary hit points.
Okay. Right.
And as I end my turn, I'm going to go
Oh,
and
nice.
hey, I'm
All
go
right.
and give myself a temporary. Do I do that? Do you do that?
It'd probably be easier if I do that. There is a box
All
in the
right, yeah,
combat
I'll let you.
tracker for temp hit points, and I will just give everyone in the group 8 temp hit points, and that should.
Well, it's all at the end of their turn.
So in case we leave it.
Okay,
Yeah, in case if someone leaves the 30-foot radius, they won't get it at the end of the turn. If they get struck, like they need to be up, right? If they're unconscious, they don't get it. So on and so forth.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. That's doable. And there was nothing else this turn you wanted to do?
No, I don't have the actions for it.
Okay. The shadowy figure is poisoned. What do I need to worry about with that? What is that effect? Should they just be rolling damage every round?
It's disadvantage
Oh, disadvantage? Okay.
on kind of everything. Let's see.
Hack
Well,
rolls.
if it's that, then so
checks.
the shadowy figure is bolting out of the scene down the hallway. Is not gone yet, but has gotten basically on the other side of you and is bolting down kind of the Rivergate area away from you. So something to keep in mind if you want to try to stop them from doing that, right? And that is their turn. Clunacious is just ready to destroy. You in particular, Trove. I don't know what Clunacious has against you, but you've kind of, maybe it was the insults, I don't know, is going to do a shield bash. And a hit.
Oh.
Bam! Right to the body for a small amount of damage, that being 5 points, which you frankly absorbed with your temp hit points there, I guess. And then we'll have to make a strength save, which unfortunately you failed, and you have been knocked on your Warforged butt. But
I really don't like your expression.
If someone is prone, though, that is a advantage on the attack roll. Is that right?
For melee attacks.
Yeah. Yep. Of which they are following up with 2. So let's see if this auto does that. If not, I will have to manually do an advantage attack. Yeah, it's already marked as advantage. So.
Concentration.
Did you roll double ones?
No,
That's what it looked like.
It does look like that. And yes, apparently.
Nice.
I'll poke my head out from under the water. You know, you're really not very good at this. You might consider a change of career.
But it's got a second attack as well, so.
If you do it again, you're going to be getting close to what I've done.
You know, I really think a change of profession is warranted at this point.
Just
I'm literally on the ground.
To say that he was swinging down with the sword, so happened to just miss your back by a smidge there, and kept missing. And there we are. So we are up to Hobgoblin 4, who is still standing and towards the front, could jump down, but is instead going to use a longbow attack against, let's say, Oro. That is a miss, and that is all they can do. Sprouts, you're up.
All right. I guess I'm gonna try to finish off. What is this 9? The one that's already hurt.
Yep.
In front of me. So I'm gonna take a stab with my rapier. I'm gonna look real cool doing it.
Oh.
Indeed, with a hit.
All right.
Ooh. Very nicely done. And just stab. And that hobgoblin is and down. So.
And then I'm going to use my movement to turn and try to chase after the shadowy figure.
However, Hobgoblin 8, remember, had also been within melee combat range of you.
Right. That's fine.
So if you wanted to do that, you could, but you would give them an attack of opportunity.
That's fine.
That's fine that you give them an attack of opportunity? Okay. All right. Well, we'll take care of that real quick. That's Hobgoblin 8. And, there we go. Is going to use a longsword attack. And that is a hit. For 8 points of damage, however, you absorb that. And there you go. So, yes, you make a good pace over to about half the distance between you and the shadowy figure.
Well, I can actually, since I didn't use my bonus action to disengage, with cunning action, I can use my bonus action as a dash.
Oh, as a dash. Okay.
And that would double my movement speed.
I would agree. That sounds good. Okay, you catch up then, too.
Okay.
You catch up. Mm-hmm. All right. Belladonna, you're up.
I know I'm prone.
That's true. First, you
so
can
is
get
it,
up.
Full action.
Yeah, it's just an action to, or a action
Half
to
your
stand
movement.
up. Yeah, half your movement. Yeah.
Okay,
so you still have
it's
an
action to stand up.
Nope, it's half your movement to stand up. You're okay. You still have an action and a bonus action theoretically available to you.
Going after couscous.
Okay.
Knocking me on my butt. Oops, I didn't mean to swear. Sorry. I'm going to take my extra attack, and I'm also going to use my brute bonus damage.
Okay. I'm going to move you next to Clunacious then.
Okay, so I'm not sure. I guess I just clicked the dice twice.
So, let's see. You are attacking... I'm trying to figure out what are you using again? Brute force? Or no, what is that?
Yeah, I'm going to take an extra attack, and I'm also going to use my brute force, which gives me bonus damage if I hit.
Yes. So what that is, however, that's just a passive amount of damage, and I believe, right, let me quick, you said the longsword is what you're doing? Right. So,
Warhammer.
yeah, we already actually have that in as both, we added the D4 automatically to your weapon. So it should automatically take care of the brute force damage. You do an extra 1d4 as a passive ability on your character class. And that should
Yeah,
automatically
now
roll
I
at
see
this
it.
point. As to your extra attack, you just get an extra attack. So rather than, say, one attack that you would roll, you can attack twice when you take an attack action. So you don't get 2 attack actions, but your attack action allows you to attack twice.
Ah.
All right, that is a couple of hits, right? They didn't roll on Clunacious though, so can
I don't
you?
know about the 16.
Yeah, I didn't see, but we'll go with it. So take what is Clunacious's AC? 20. So the 16 will miss, but the 21 will hit. So take the when you go over to the Actions tab on your character sheet, you'll see on the Warhammer there's a box that says 1d8 plus 1d4 plus 3 bludgeoning. Kind of drag that box on top of Clunacious and let go of the mouse button. There we go. And it should roll it automatically. There you go. 12 points of damage there to Clunacious. Good, strong
I
hit
feel
there.
much better.
Yes, as you should. That worked pretty well. And you're no longer prone. You do still have, I believe, a bonus action available to you if there's something you want to do. I believe, for example, you could use a second wind to get yourself some hit points back if you wanted to. There may be some other
I think
things you
that
could
would
do
be a
as
great
well.
idea.
Yeah.
Do you do that or do I?
You can do that. So roll a 1d10, and then we'll add your fighter level of 8 to it. Aw. Well, there you go. At least you got 10 hit points back. So, better than nothing. Yeah. All right, good deal. Now, that is your bonus action, and you used half your movement. You could theoretically move away a little bit to get out of range if you wanted to absorb an attack of opportunity. That's up to you. Maybe not the best idea. You could.
No, I'm in his face.
Yeah, okay. Good deal. All right, so it's the Hobgoblin's turn, and the Hobgoblin 2 is able to attack. Where do I have 2? There, oh, that's the Spellcaster. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, that's the Captain 2.
Yeah, those spellcasters are a problem.
Why am I not seeing Hobgoblin 2? Where is Hobgoblin 2? Did I not put Hobgoblin 2 on the map? There's Captain 2. There's Hobgoblin 2. I'm just double checking, making sure I don't have something wrong. Spellcaster 2. Alright, well that's fine. Another Hobgoblin kind of runs down the hallway here and does its thing. Pulls out, is on the edge. Pulls out a longbow and takes a bow shot at the sprite.
Well, that's just low.
And thankfully misses the sprite. It's the sprite's turn.
Okay.
Hobgoblin 2 is the one that just attacked it. That's this person over here.
Okay. He is still concentrating on, what is it, Cole? Who is right behind Sprout? Is that the token?
Yep.
Okay. I'm a little farther away from my computer than normal, so I'm like...
Sure, and Cole is listed there because we haven't gotten to the name yet. At the moment, you just know him as the shadowy figure.
Well, 7 up.
Yeah.
You're just not hitting very well.
No.
Okay. Well, that's Sprite.
All right, we got Captain 1 still under the hypnotic pattern. They don't get a save, huh? It's just concentration. Yeah. We still got the other one asleep. Lee.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a ring of spell storing. And it has 1d6 plus 1 levels of stored spells chosen by the DM.
Okay.
And we didn't talk about it.
Nope.
I'm hoping there's a healing spell in there.
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I am going to run up to Belladonna and pop a healing spell into her, and I'm gonna let you just roll it on her because I don't have all the
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm just going off the top of my head. Moderate is like 2d8. Serious is 48. Is that about what it is? Something like that.
I
50?
think
Plus
so.
your spellcasting
Yeah.
modifier.
So let's just
Yeah.
call it a 3d8 and make it even. All right, you heal Belladonna for 18 points.
And then with my bonus action, we're gonna have 7-Up shoot again.
Okay.
Maybe better this time.
Nope. Well, I
All
mean,
right,
it's
then.
hard. There's running water. There's perspective issues. I mean, it's just, what do you expect? What do you expect? So. Well, actually, it's just about to get a whole bunch worse because the spellcaster 3 here is going to move up and is going to cast Ice Storm.
Oh, fun.
So that is a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, centered right on basically just about everybody.
Yeah, but doesn't your own party take damage from that too?
Yes, theoretically they would.
Suck it, couscous.
All right. And let me just read the thing. Each creature must make a dex save or take 2d8 bludgeon, 4d6 cold damage, half on a thing. It's difficult to rain till the end of the next turn, etc. So I'm just going to roll the saves on everybody up to and including Clunacious, who failed his save and takes... Let me get that. Right. 27 points of damage.
Okay.
However, now it's everyone else's turn as well. So let's see, Belladonna.
Yeah, just
Save.
because I gloated.
You succeeded. You succeeded.
Woo-hoo!
So you're going to be taking half of that much damage, which is 2 points partially absorbed, 20 points, and that should be half.
Belladonna, did you wind up getting your temporary health?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you had temporary health. What happened here is it absorbed it and then gave you 2 points of damage on the 10.
Okay.
So I think we're good there. All right.
Many thanks for the healing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're welcome.
Now on Lee, you succeeded on your saving throw.
Woohoo.
And again, you took half. All 8 was absorbed. You took 2 damage there.
Okay.
And let's see on the poor little sprite.
Oh. Oh no.
Succeeded on the save, but
Not going to be pretty.
Oh.
the sprite is not flat yet. And then let's see, Oro. You failed your save. You want to, I assume, use one of your charges. You're muted, but I'm going to assume that's yourself.
I can't do anything about it.
Of course I will, idiot. No, there you go. Yeah, no, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you're going to absorb that presumably by using one of your charges.
No, that's only to hit. If it doesn't to hit, I can't use shield, and I've already used shield.
Ooh,
So until it's my turn again, I don't have another reaction.
wow.
So just damage.
Ouch.
Oof. I mean, you did absorb 8 of that 25, thankfully, but
Okay, so
there
that
you go.
makes it
17 is what you took.
17, half of 17.
And
so
I have a
that's
concentration
10.
roll for you, too. Nice, you succeeded the concentration check without any issue at all. All right, so then the last one then is this hobgoblin, who, I don't know, fairly... Request for fellow townsfolks was not high on that person's priority list.
Oh, am I not in the circle?
I don't believe so. Oh, no, you are. I just
Yeah.
haven't gone to you.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, okay. So did take 10 damage, that other hobgoblin, and then, yeah, finally, I was just going around. I did not get the tome yet. And you failed your save.
I am actually, as I see the chunks of ice descending, I look up and go, uh-oh, not good. And I'm going to twist the ring of evasion I wear on one of my fingers to automatically succeed on a reflex saving throw. It is a reflex saving throw, correct?
Is a dex save. Doesn't say.
Sorry, I'm using
specifically.
3.5.
Yes, each creature
in
must make a
3.5 it would
dex
have been a-
save.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking 3.5. Yeah, succeed on a reflex saving throw. And so the charges go down.
Okay.
I have 2 out of 3.
All right, and so you will take just half damage here. How do I make that? Is there a way I can force a success? I bet there is. If I put that on you, and nope. There we go. Success.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. And then there we go. Yep. And you took 22. Theoretically,
Indeed.
absorbed a lot of it. So. All right. Now, that's that. And it is difficult terrain until the start of its next turn. Hobgoblin 1 is hypnotized. Oro, you're up.
All right, so how many of those casters can I get in a straight line?
In a straight line, would just be 1. Because they are really kind of dotting the wall, if you can picture it. And so in order to get a straight line, you would need to be up on the ledge shooting across. Now, you could get it. You could fly, jump, misty step, or whatever your way up to that ledge, and then you could get a straight line. Maybe. But
Is that how do I catch them in a 20-foot sphere?
yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Push this guy out. Sure.
One, two, three, four. Okay. I was just checking to make sure I'm getting the right number of things. This one is going to come out of the staff.
And does that mean you don't need to worry about concentration as to your hypnotic pattern?
I only have to worry about the concentration if I cast a concentration spell or get hit.
Okay, and what are you casting?
This is a fireball.
Okay.
Old Faithful.
Boink. All right, they've you have defeated Hobgoblin 3. The other 3 have managed to survive, but there you go. Hobgoblin 3 is no more. You've taken out another member of the Hobgoblin group attacking you. What else you got going on?
Oh, I'm a wizard, so I don't get bonus actions.
All right. Well, Hobgoblin Spellcaster 1 is still around, still alive, still able to do stuff, and is going to fire back right at you with a fireball.
At this point, oops. Were you gonna?
Yeah, I was going to this time.
Okay.
I'm going to counterspell it.
Okay, and that just negates it for the whole group.
Yep.
Right? Okay. Of note that they would have been able to hit all of you except for you, Sprouts, because you are running farther away at this point with the hooded figure there. So, all right, Spellcaster 2 is damaged and wounded and not feeling too good, and is going to fly away. Cast spell, fly, and do so.
Okay.
Away from, maybe not out of range, but away from your visibility. You don't see him. 60 feet away from you, basically. The kobolds are starting to stir, but you're not really seeing them do much anything yet. Mostly you're just hearing go, yuck, 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 yuck. Like they're kind of building up to do something. Hobgoblin 7 is engaged in melee with you, Oro, so we'll continue to do so. All right, so that is a hit. I've got a save.
It is in fact a hit.
Not quite sure what I'm rolling a save on. But it succeeded on something that you were putting on it, right? And then it failed on a second save that you applied to it?
No idea.
Celestial resistance, maybe, and then something else? I don't know. Huh. Not quite sure what to make of that. Either way, we did have a hit, so let's call it a hit. All right, 8 points of damage there. And we are at the end of the turn, and we are at approximately halfway through our 6-hour time frame here. So I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to get some lunch, eat something, something like that, because I know it's about mid-afternoon. So we're going to take a pause on this recording, and as long as it's okay with you all, we'll meet back in 30 minutes. Is that acceptable?
Sure.
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right, so then I will see everyone a few minutes after 3:30 here. Thanks, and I'll see you then.
Okay.
All right.